Good evening and a warm welcome to Tuesday's edition of Prime TV News. I am Lahiru Aduge. Here are the headlines for top stories tonight. The President promises to continue pro-people agenda based on experience amassed during last 4 years. Cabinet grants approval to budget proposals. A family caught up in a fire rescued. New Laggala town vested with public. And in news overseas, the North Korean leader arrives in Beijing. Moving on to news in detail, January 8th transformation that fulfilled hopes of the people to create a peaceful society and a sustainably developed nation marks its 4th anniversary. President Maithripala Sirisena, who ascended to power on the 8th of January 2015, brought a drastic change to Sri Lankan political saga. The president won the presidential election in 2015, bagging more than 6.2 million votes. A range of programs, including religious observances, has been organized island-wide to mark the historical event and invoke blessings on the president and the country. The staff of the President's office organized all-night Pirit chanting yesterday. The President paid a floral tribute to the statue of founder of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, late Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike this morning. The President engaged in the ritual marking the 120th birth anniversary of the late Prime Minister. The new green town of Laggala was vested with the public by the President, symbolizing economic and cultural rejuvenation under the visionary plan of Maitri Yugayak. The police say fire occurred at a multi-story building at the Yatinura street of Kandy has been doused. The fire has been caused due to a gas leakage at the building. According to police, a private organization was running in the structure. 3 children and parents of a family who were living in the upper stairs of the building were admitted to the hospital following the fire. The fire brigade of the Temple of Tooth Relic, the Motor Traffic Division of the Kandy Police Station, the Fire Brigade of the Kandy Municipal Council and Army soldiers joined the effort to extinguish the fire. An all-night Pirit chanting ceremony was held at the premises of the Presidential Secretariat to mark President Maithripala Sirisena completing 4 years in office and to invoke blessings on him. The Spirit chanting ceremony was organized with the participation of the Mahasangha, including the Venerable Kirinde Assajithera. The President also joined in listening to Dhamma sermon. Ministers and MPs, including Minister of Buddha Sasana, Gamini Jaivikrama Pereira, were also present at the event. Meanwhile, there was an alms giving for the Mahasangha this morning. The chief incumbent of Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Mahasangha Sabha of Siam Mahanikaya, Most Venerable Dr. Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera, Mahanayaka of Sri Lanka Amarapura Mahanikaya, Agga Mahapandita Venerable Kotugoda Dhammavasa Thera, Venerable Kotapola Amarakitty Thera, Venerable Tirukunamale Ananda Thera, Venerable Akuratiya Nanda Thera, Chief Incumbent of Kalaniya Rajamahavihara, Professor Kollupitiye Mahinda Sangarakkita Thera and Mahasangha were present in the event. This event was organized by the staff of the President's office under the directives of Secretary to the President Udaya R. Senaviratna. Taking a look at the news from the judiciary, examination of witnesses of the case filed against Gamini Senarat, former Chief of Staff of the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and 3 others took place today. The case against Gamini Senarat and 3 other suspects was taken up before the Permanent High Court. The case has been filed on the counts of transferring a fund of 500 million rupees to a private company called Helanco Hotels Private Limited from Canvin Holdings that was initially debited by the Litro Lanka Gas Company. Further examination of witnesses will be conducted tomorrow. Meanwhile, former Superintendent of Prisons Emil Ranjan Lamaheba was further remanded till 22nd of this month in connection with the case of assassinating 27 inmates of the Valikada prison in 2012. The order was given by the Colombo Chief Magistrate. The attorney at law appeared on behalf of the victims told the court that IP Nirmal Rangajiva, who happened to be the first defendant of the case, has hurled threats via social media to journalist Kasun Pusavela, who had reported the event. Newly appointed governor of the North Central Province, Sarath Ekanayake, assumed duties in his portfolio yesterday. Sarath Ekanayake paid homage to sacred Jayashree Mahabodhiya in Anuradhapura before assuming his duties in the new position. The newly appointed governor also called on chief incumbent of Atamasthana, Venerable Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera. The governor assumed duties amidst Pirit chanting of the Venerable Mahasangha. Now, in other news, a new program has been launched to obtain insurance policies at the post offices. The new initiative was unveiled at the headquarters of the Postal Services in Colombo. Several leading insurance companies have joined the Postal Department to launch the new service. According to Minister A.H.M. Halim, who inaugurated the new service, the general public will easily be able to obtain insurance policies under the newly introduced program. He stated that the postal service in the country should be acquainted with new technology and marketing strategies. He explained that innovation needs to be given pride of place in this endeavor. The minister said that an array of innovative programs will be vested with the public in the near future. The National Apprenticeship and Industrial Training Authority has doubled training opportunities for the youth. The second stage of the new initiative commenced at district centres of the Naita yesterday under the patronage of Deputy Minister Karunaratna Parnavitana and Parliamentarian V. Tilakaraj. The main function of the inauguration of the second phase was held at the Nuwara district office. Trainees will be enrolled for the programs in construction, health services, hotel and tourism, motor mechanic, electrical and telecommunication. Navy personnel have apprehended 4 Indian fishermen and a fishing trawler belonging to them for engaging in illegal fishing in Sri Lankan territorial waters yesterday. The fishermen were intercepted in northern seas off the Delft Island. The apprehended fishermen were brought to the naval base SLNS Elara this morning and produced for a medical test before they being handed over to the Assistant Director of Fisheries in Jaffna for onward legal action. You are watching Prime TV News. More news at home. President Maithripala Sirisena says he's ready to further consolidate victories marked by the general public, electing him as the president of the country 4 years ago. The president was speaking at the public rally organized following the opening of newly built green town of Laggala today. He also stressed that defeats marked in the course will be turned into victories under his leadership. The president explained that a number of steps was taken to strengthen democracy, freedom and equality in the society during his tenure. President Sirisena also said that his administration was able to create a society free from fear. The president also said that freedom of media, independence of judiciary and impartiality of public service were ensured during last 4 years. President Sirisena highlighted that he took measures to gear up country's national economic growth. The president urged all the citizens of the country to support his vision to eliminate fraud and corruption from the society. He also promised to come up with a robust mechanism to uproot corruption. Laggala New Town, replete with all infrastructure for a convenient public life, was vested with public as an outcome of the multi-purpose Moragahakanda Kaluganga project. The new town hosts more than 3,000 displaced people due to the construction of the Kaluganga reservoir. The Laggala new town has been constructed in line with modern town planning considering future demands of the people. The town has been planned as a garden city. The investment is 4,500 million rupees for the project. The new town area encompasses 75 hectares including a new police station, cooperative complex, divisional secretariat, Pradeshya Sabha, public fair and a market. 26 government organizations have been set up in the new town including banks and financial institutions. 112 buildings have been constructed at a cost of 2,043 million rupees for those organizations. A waste management system that has been introduced by a research team of the University of Peradeniya is carried out in a novel way. The new town connects with Dambulla, Matale, Naula, Morogahakanda, Pallegama, Vasgamuwa National Wildlife Park, Girandurukotte and Mahiyanganaya with an extensive road network. It is expected that a good deal of government and private investment would be attracted to the Dambulla town due to the convenient infrastructure. Due to the new road network, the time spent for reaching Laggala from Matale has been slashed to 1.5 hours from 4.5. The specialty of the project is the residents themselves have earmarked the place to construct the new town. Natural resources have been sustainably used for planning and constructing the new town area. Measures have been taken to mitigate impacts of disasters. The highest compensation in contemporary Sri Lankan history, to the tune of 11 billion rupees, has been paid to the victims of the Morogahakanda Kaluganga development project. In addition to compensation paid for property, each and every family gets half acre of land and 1.5 acre of paddy field. Experts say Laggala will be one of the most planned towns in Sri Lanka and will be a model for future developments. Coming up next is our business news segment.
The approval of the Cabinet of Ministers has been granted to the Appropriation Bill 2019. The Cabinet Memorandum has been submitted by the Finance and Media Minister Mangala Samaravira. Accordingly, this year's state expenditure will be 4,470 billion rupees and the budget deficit will be 4.8% of the GDP. The state revenue, which was 11.5% of the GDP in the year 2014, was gradually increased after the present government came into power in 2015, and it is expected to be increased to 15% of the GDP this year. The statement said that this year's national budget is prepared under the medium-term fiscal framework by adopting the performance-based budgeting approach with the aim of strengthening the ongoing fiscal consolidation programs. The government is also aiming to achieve the target of increasing the state revenue to 17% and limiting the recurrent expenditure to 15% of the GDP in the year 2021. 2,200 billion rupees has been allocated for debt servicing in 2019. This is the highest a government in the history of this country is compelled to bear for debt servicing. The recurrent expenditure includes 1,425 billion rupees, while the capital expenditure will cost 838 billion rupees. The appropriation bill will be presented in the Parliament on the 5th of February.
Well, that's all for today from the Prime TV News team. You can log on to www.itnnews.lk for more information. I'm Lahiru signing off. Have a good night.